Hi friends, it's Vicki with the Groomed Home. Have you been ignoring expired ingredients in your fridge whenever you run across them? Or maybe you're just tired of food going bad because you forgot they were hiding in the back of the fridge? In this video, I'll show you some simple tips for organizing your fridge so it stays that way. I'll start with a budget-friendly makeover, but I'll also cover some of the products that you could use to optimize your refrigerator's organization when you have the time and budget. Let's get started. The first thing you'll want to do is simply prep. And also be sure to leave yourself enough time. Depending on how packed your fridge is, depending on how much cleaning you have to do, you might want to give yourself a full 90 minutes for this project. Gather up a few supplies, that means cleaning supplies, and also a tape measure is good to have handy. The only other real prep you need to do is make sure you have plenty of cleared counter space so that as you're pulling things out of the refrigerator, you have a place to put them that's not the floor. Step two is simply to remove everything, anything that's expired that you know you won't eat, anything that's just icky tasting to you that, again, you know you won't consume it. So just get rid of those things. Be honest and be a little bit ruthless with this process. The other thing you can do is consolidate. So whenever you start pulling things out of the refrigerator and you notice there are the exact same item but in multiple open bags, you can consolidate those so you have fewer containers. Once everything is out of the refrigerator, wipe down your refrigerator. And if you're really thorough, maybe you want to even use a special wand to get underneath the refrigerator and do a little bit more deep cleaning. Now we're getting into step three, which is to sort and plan. I like to group the things that I have while they're still on the countertop. Now, maybe you were able to do this a bit while you were pulling things out, but if not, now would be the time. Now is when you also do some preliminary measuring. You may not actually need your measuring tape just yet, but you want to start getting a sense of where you might return these items when you put them back in the refrigerator. One of the things I like to focus on are all my tall items. Sometimes you're able to remove tall items that are causing you to have an entire shelf lifted, which then makes other products hard to fit in the refrigerator, and perhaps put them in a door. And that gives you the opportunity to lower a shelf and give more space, more breathing room for some of the items you'd rather store in the main compartment of the refrigerator. Step four is to start organizing. You will find that sometimes you assign a home base within your refrigerator for things, and the things either don't fit, you don't have enough space where you thought you would, or you may conversely find you have too much space there and it doesn't make sense to use up all that real estate in the refrigerator for those particular items. So again, you may need to relocate them. In addition to grouping like with like, you also want to consider how frequently items are used. And in fact, this is where you will break the grouping rule because you want your frequent use items closer to where you can see them and use them easily. Have you left enough space for things like leftovers? The final step is to optimize, and this is where you get to have some fun, get that tape measure out. You've got everything in the right places, but you can now measure for the size of bins that you would need to have if you want to make things easier to just pull out. Some of the products you may find handy are hanging shelf drawers. They even make those for eggs. You can also just very simply use shelf liners, the nice kind of sticky ones. I'll link to the one I have. Those are really great just to prevent things from sliding around, especially in the pre-existing drawers. Grab a label maker and just put a label on the front of the bin, put a label on the front of drawers. But it's a great tip to know what's at the back of that particular container so you don't have to go hunting for it. I hope these tips were helpful for you. Feel free to leave a comment. Also, remember, I always put links in the description below, and that will help you to just take a look at the kinds of products that I'm talking about to spark some ideas for you. All right, I wish you well, and bye for now.